Oh my God.
Maybe maybe just start it now, like not associated with that.
It's not. I just retyped all the stuff and put the thumbnail in. But it's a separate video.
There's another person in our playback, but what the heck?
Oh,
How do we start?
that's good.
How do we start this?
Oh, we're good. Okay. We are live on YouTube.
We are
Sorry
currently?
about that.
Yeah, sorry guys.
Oh, just us now. All right. Let me get this media hooked up.
Okay, we're live.
You should take your AirPods out because it keeps doing a little like scratchy noise thing.
Okay.
All right. You seeing that? Is that playing? Maxwell? And there goes Max. Let's get this video set up. Yeah, I can't hear you, pal.
Okay, can you hear me right now?
Yes, I certainly can. There you
Gosh
are.
darn. Okay, I'm keeping the AirPods in because for some reason when I take them out, it ruins everything. So
All right.
there might be a little feedback, but it's coming from my speaker, correct?
Yes, it's coming from your mic.
Oh my God. All right, sorry everyone about that. We're still new to this. Playback is
very new.
Very new to us. So
for some reason it's impossible to get it streaming to both playback and YouTube at the same time on the first try, but I think try number 2 worked. So we're here now.
We're here now.
Ready to go,
let's do this thing. I'm ready.
All right. Welcome back to the Long Two, everybody. Welcome into another NBA episode. We have a good one for you today. We are going to talk about the Raptors' recent hot streak, as well as the number 1 offense currently in the NBA, the Houston Rockets. Max, how are we?
Pretty good. Almost died from being allergic to a mattress this weekend. So other than that, I've been all right. But how are you doing?
Weird thing to be allergic to.
Oh yeah,
I'm doing good. I'm excited to talk some hoops with you.
Me too. It's been a whole week. Yeah, I can't wait. We had such great traction on the last podcast that we posted. Thank you guys for coming in live while we were doing that and asking some awesome questions. And thank you for all the kind comments. We will not be stopping the pod. I'm not sure why people thought we were, but don't worry, we will not be stopping. We've been doing this for 4 years to nobody, so it's nice to actually have listeners now.
Yeah, everybody keeps hitting us with the please don't stop doing this. It's not everybody, it's 3 or maybe 2 comments. But
Yeah, I
like,
let it get to my head.
We're not gonna. It's actually just this is the best it's ever been. So
Yeah, don't worry, it's not stopping. But yeah, let's get into it here. Jordan, I know we wanted to talk about the Raptors because in the last 8 games, they've been 7-1. They've been truly like awesome. They're 6th in offensive rating, they're 13th in defensive rating, they're 8th in net rating. And they've been a team that usually, to be honest with you, I'm not super high on, but this year it feels like something has changed with them, and we really wanted to break it down because they have been a pretty shocking team in the East. I gotta say.
Yeah, I mean, 8. What was it? 7-1 in their last 8 or something. It's not the most insane schedule, but it is still 7-1, and they're on a huge winning streak. They're fun to watch. I like what the coach is doing. I think the Raptors fans are really excited and really happy with how the offense looks. Like, I think a lot of us expected them to be fun defensively. They got a bunch of scrappy guys. They got a bunch of athletes, but for the offense to be top 6 or top 7, I think it is really impressive. So it's going to be fun to talk about.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I honestly just didn't see this coming into the season. So might have been on me, but I mean, just to get into it here with starting, I mean, there's really 2 ways that they're scoring the basketball as effectively as they are. The first way is through their transition offense. They're 3rd in transition frequency. So 24.4% of their points are in transition. And then they average 32.1 transition points per game, which is 4th in the NBA. So a lot of what they're doing is this transition offense here. One thing about them is that they actually aren't that efficient at their transition offense. Like, they don't necessarily score efficiently in transition, but they do transition so much that they are just making up for their inefficiencies with the amount that they're actually scoring in transition.
Yeah, I have that stat. So they are 3rd in transition possessions per game. They are 3rd in transition points per game. That's just the raw counting stats with the points per game. They're 14th in efficiency, but to your point, like, they're right behind Miami, who is also obviously way up there in volume. So, like, it makes sense when you're a team with that type of frequency to, accept and, be able to understand the efficiency not being amazing, because when you have that high volume, it's obviously going to go down. But that doesn't take away from anything, in my opinion, from what they're doing in transition. It's really the leading driver of where their offense is at.
Yeah, absolutely. And then beyond that, they're also just incredible in the half-court offense. But we wanted to kind of break down what they're doing in transition. I mean, just from watching them, really what they're doing is every miss, they're just pushing the ball, because they usually have about 4 ball handlers on the floor at a time. If you're looking at the starting lineup, that's RJ Barrett, IQ, Scottie Barnes, and I'm blanking on the other guy. Pirtle is the only non-ball handler, and then Brandon Ingram is the 4th. So 4 of those guys can just take the ball and go, and that's why they're just running after everything, after every miss, even after most makes. They're just kind of pushing it up, and that's why they're so effective here. So what was the first breakdown you wanted to do with the transition offense here?
Yeah, let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Oh,
pulling it up now.
We lost our. Hang on. Here we go. Here she is.
There it is. All right. I believe this is IQ. No, it's not.
No, it's Shed. You said you want to do IQ after Scottie. You want to start with Scottie?
Yeah, let's start with Scottie.
All right. I'll throw out some quick Scottie stats before we get into the film. But of guys with more than 3 transition possessions per game and over 5 games played, Scottie is 10th in points per possession in transition, and that's on the 2nd highest volume. He's at 4.8 transition possessions per game, and a lot of it is because of his transition passing. So we are going to see some really nice passes from Scottie Barnes on the break here. And one of the things I love about Scottie's passing is his ability to be a great rebounder, right? And just be able to take it right on the break. So where are we? Hang on.
We lost it. Sorry, guys. We're clearly, for some reason, we've been doing this effectively every time before we go live. But now that we're live, you're seeing the mistakes in real time.
I got it right here.
Perfect. Okay, here we go.
All right. So, like I said, I love how Scottie can rebound at an elite level and then just grab and go on the break. So here he is ripping down rebounds on the break. Check out the lefty sling to Pirtle. Really smooth. Mobley, like, doesn't even know the pass is coming before it's already by him. And I love, like, Scottie being this comfortable of a ball handler and passer in transition, look at him. He's holding off Wade with the right hand. He never touches the ball with the right hand, and he just throws it with the left. It's beautiful. And it's been a lot of this all year. Again, ripping down boards like a big man, like the stud that he is. He's going to slow down here, slow the pace, check Ingram, check these guys, but everybody on the defense relaxes, but Pirtle's got a wide open layup, the no-look dime. Beautiful. Again, just some grab and go stuff. He's got like really, really good pace control here. He's not out of control. He's playing at his own pace. Again, these little lefty shoves right to Pirtle under the bucket. Easy one. Another nice rebound here, and he's going to get out and go. Nice burst. And then this one's funny. He's looking off nobody. He's looking off in the corner, but there's nobody there. And it was just a funny one. But it does go to the overall point that he's just been an awesome passer and an awesome guy leading the break, both because of his passing and because of his finishing. We'll see the nice finish here in transition with Mobley on the hip. Max, is it Giannis light? Is it baby Giannis? Is that too much? Is it too much?
That might be a little too much.
That might be a little too much. Become. I don't know.
I do enjoy watching Scottie because he does do very funny things on the basketball court. He always has incredible reactions to things. And yeah, he's just very funny. He's just a funny player. I love the looking off nobody.
The looking off nobody was awesome. Look where he takes off from here. Baby Giannis. Baby Giannis. Yes, it's gonna catch. Has it already caught?
That's all you. That's all you, brother. I don't know about that one, but hey, he is quite
in points per possession in transition. So just some good little Scottie tape for you. I love the passing. I love that he can be a guy that can just grab boards and go out and lead the break and lead to efficient offense. He's been awesome, both passing and finishing. 10th in efficiency in transition.
There you go. Thank you, Honda Civic, for saying W Stream. Thank you guys. Thank you for all the kind comments. Thank you, Braden. Thank you, Honda Civic. Yeah. So was that all your Scottie commentary?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of messed up the flow of this thing here. I was supposed to talk about the half court offense a little bit first with Jamal, but this is what you get when you get live. You're going to get the full uncut long 2 podcast experience here.
Let's be honest. Even the full podcast people are getting the same thing. We're not cutting it up.
Not a good salesman, Jordan. Stick to NBA stuff here. But okay, so let's break down a little bit. We'll go to transition, then we'll pop back to Jamal Shead because I do want to talk about him. But the thing that I'm seeing, like transitionally, what they're doing here is the player that I'm kind of most interested in this scenario is Emmanuel Quickley. So the first thing that I'm seeing here is his transition threes. So with him, he has the most threes on the team. He's averaging 6.2 3-pointers attempted a game. And then a lot of his threes are coming in transition. And the first way that he gets him, if you want to pull up the first clip here against Memphis, the way that he gets them is he'll just run around the back off of rebounds and just kind of pull from deep. And what I've noticed is that he pulls from so deep that people aren't really even like contesting him because they don't expect him to shoot it because he's that far out. And really when he does this the most is off of like a Brandon Ingram or a Scottie rebound off of a layup where he can just get out and run. So you'll see here, you're going to see the rebound and then they're just going to push the pace here. You see Emmanuel Quickley in the corner there. He's going to push up and BI is just going to find him kind of slink into the corner there and just get a nice wide open 3. He's going to cash that obviously. And then again, it's just, there's a 3 again, the same thing. Ingram's going to rebound the ball here. And then he's just going to get it to IQ at a spot, and he's going to let it fly. So that's kind of the main way that he's getting those transition threes. But then the other way that he's getting there is as the outlet, pushing it to his spot. And this is where you're seeing the deep threes right there. See, he's like pretty far out from the 3-point line, and you're seeing that guys aren't actually closing out. Now, granted, I believe that's Embiid over there.
Yeah.
So
Embiid's not getting out there.
Yeah, he's not getting out there. So he's just taking that shot from deep. Obviously going to can that. And then the next play, you're just going to see him he's going to get the rebound himself, and he's just going to push it to his spot. Again, just hitting a deep three, letting it fly before the defenders can kind of just effectively contest him. Now, that was a solid contest, but that's one way he's doing it. But then the other way that he's hitting it on these transition threes here, and these are the ones that I really like because these are when he's hitting threes as a trailer. And this is something that he does a lot. And the reason I like it is that with Barnes, RJ, and Brandon Ingram on the floor, like all those guys can really get to the rim, but they're not, or their midi spots, but they're not the best 3-point shooters from volume. What I like is that this makes Toronto really dangerous as a trailing team because with IQ as the trailers, those guys can go and get to the rim or get to their midi spots, but he's just kind of trailing. And if it doesn't work out for him, they can just kick it right back out. And he feasts on them driving and kicking, and then finding him as a trailer in general. So it just makes them more dangerous as a transition team because they have so many ways to score, as you're seeing here. The first play that Jordan played, you have the prime example there where Scottie drives in transition. The defense collapses there. Yeah, just right back. There you go. Scottie's going to drive in transition. Defense is going to collapse. They're going to make another pass to IQ. He's just going to drain that there. Boom. And then this one, RJ is going to look to drive, just kind of get walled off, and he's just going to find IQ trailing in the back. He's going to hit that easily. Nothing to it. And then here, Ochai is going to outlet it to Mamu, and he's just a little out of position where he lands. So you'll see him just kind of kick it back to IQ,
Dude,
the trailer.
2025 NBA right here. This is
right there, passing up a wide open layup for a trailing three.
Mamu's like, I don't know if I can make it. He can definitely make it, but instead he takes a three.
He's only 6'9", and he's not like unathletic. So just like this is where I like Toronto in their transition game is because they do have so many weapons with. You have an ambidextrous finisher. Well, you have the left-handed finisher in RJ, who's just really solid at finishing. You have Brandon Ingram, who can get to that midi spot, or he's also extremely lanky. He can get to the rim. You have Scottie, who is the strongest out of those guys. He can get to the rim with force and finish it, or finish with either hands. And then on top of that, you have IQ that can really help to space it out a little bit. Because one of the issues I'm seeing with Toronto from watching them so much was that there's not a lot of spacing with them. They're 24th in three-pointers attempted, and only 2 players attempt more than 4 threes per game. So they're really not shooting the ball a lot or from deep a lot, but they're really good at getting to the rim, and their interior passing is awesome. And that's why I wanted to bring up Jamal Shead, because I think this is kind of where it starts with them. So them at Toronto as a team, they're second in assists per game. They're averaging 30.2 assists per game. They're 5th in assist ratio. They're first in assist to turnover ratio, so they're really taking care of the ball, and they're first in assist ratio. So really what that means is a lot of their shots are coming from passes and from quality passes. And for them, the reason their offense is so good is because obviously their transition scoring, but then their half-court offense is really, really spectacular as well. And I love the main action that they start with in a lot of these sets and just most of what they're doing is just a little pick and roll action, usually with Pirtle as the big. I've seen Shead as the screener as well. Scottie will get in there and set some screens. Brandon Ingram will as well. Mamu will set some screens. He'll set some screens for sure. And the pick and roll man, they average 1.25 points per possession, which is the 89th percentile in the NBA. And Jordan, let's go ahead and explain that to the cast here because we had a deep discussion on this today.
Well, okay, before we do that, so I mentioned Mamu. We were talking about Mamu and Shead as the super subs for Toronto. And I got a fun Mamu stat. So of guys with over 1 roll man possession per game, Mamu's 9th in points per possession. So he's the 9th best roll man in terms of efficiency. By the way, Con Knipple is 2nd. So just throwing Con out there.
Shout out.
Yeah. But the roll man stuff, what did we conclude? That it calculates a possession ending in the roll man, either scoring, getting fouled, turning it over, or having an assist.
Correct. Yes.
So it's not every time the guy rolls, it's every time the roller actually is the one to finish the possession.
So with 1.25 points per possession is that there's a lot of positivity happening with the roll man in these possessions here.
Just an absolute dog.
Absolutely. So really, I think to me this starts with guys like Jamal Shead who have such good interior passing, especially out of the pick and roll. And I love what he does because he's so relentless in his pressure on the rim. He's really, really quick. And so the bigs are constantly having to come up to help on him after the screen action. And then he uses his advantage by making the right pass to the open player and using that quick first step to get around these guys. And with the Raptors, from watching them, there are times where they get really bogged down with the starting lineup. And it's just RJ or Brandon Ingram or Scottie just kind of taking their time, getting to their spots, kind of running through the set there and just kind of getting to those mid-range shots. It's not really the prettiest thing sometimes. And there will be these moments where the offense with the starters is just really slow. The ball's kind of sticking a little bit. I think the best example of this was the first half of the first quarter in the second game against the Cavs. So you might need a roadmap for that one. But
write that one down.
the beginning of the first quarter against the Cavs, the second time they played them. That was the most recent Cavs game. And I think the Cavs went up by like 10. And the Raptors just were not getting it going offensively. Then they put Shead and Mamu in, and they went on like a 20-3 run. And it was just all from those guys. Like Shead just completely turns up the pace here. So here's the first example, right? So you're going to see him drive on the mismatch with I try to combine his name, Onyeka, right? So he's going to get him on his hip there. And then you're just going to see him kick to Mamu from the 3 when because Dyson's caught in the corner just kind of ball watching there. And you're going to hit him Mamu for 3, right? Just stuff like that, right? You're getting the ball moving. You're getting open threes. They don't take they don't take a lot of threes, but when they are taking threes with actions like that, it's, good open threes, right? Next play here, you're going to see him. He's going to get that mismatch on Gay, right? He's just going to drive and kick it to Murray Boyles, who is in the corner for an open 3.
It's a nice
again
drift,
because Dyson.
Look at this is some Memphis type concepts with the corner cut and then CMB drifting to the corner. It's a little bit wheelie for those of you that are familiar.
Exactly, and again, Dyson got caught ball watching on that one. So he's just using his brain, right? Like he's driving, he's using that that first step to get around guys, but he's not necessarily looking to score. He's looking to kind of facilitate, and they work off of good cutting and ball movement. With this one here, he's going to get the DHO from Mamu, and he's just going to speed to the paint, and he's going to see Eason. Yeah, he's going to see Eason get going to help, and then just kick it out to RJ for the 3 there. So just kind of look at how quick he does this, right?
The move.
Yeah.
The Hezzy big cross. He covers so much ground with one dribble. Nasty.
Exactly. He's extremely fast, and his ball handling is really, really solid. And this one, you're going to see him. He's going to drive off the stagger screen from Scottie and Jakob. He's going to get cut off a little bit, right? So pause it. He gets cut off. But then he's going to go between the legs and just get Trey on his hip. And then just going up, he knows KP's going to come over and contest it, right? And he's just going to hit Jakob Poeltl on the wraparound pass for just a beautiful shot right there.
Yeah, let's watch the move on Trey again.
Yeah, so he's going to cross him up. There you go. And then boom, just a beautiful little dump pass right there to Poeltl. And then again, you're going to see, so he gets the ball from Murray Boyles. He's going to screen from him or for him. And then he's going to get Harper on his hip, right? So as he's driving, and then hold on, corner side note, Bismack Biyombo's still in the fucking league. That is
he's grinding, man.
Yeah, pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. But anyways, Biyombo's going to kind of help cut him off, and then he's just going to hit CMB on the roll. It's just going to be a really easy 2, right? So what he's doing is he's really good at getting guys, like it's that quick first step. He's getting guys on the hip, and he's just kind of making these shots really easy. He's getting the ball moving. He's getting it flowing. People are going to want to cut more because of this high activity offense that they're running. And that's just kind of what they're doing to get some momentum going. And then you're going to see here, he's just going to split. This is a really nice move. He's going to split the defense, and then CMB's chilling in the dunker spot there, just wide open for an alley-oop, right? The defense is caught ball watching. CMB's chilling in the dunker spot. That's an easy oop, 10 times out of 10.
It is cool to have IQ like you showed, who's the crazy shooter and the movement shooter, the guy with all the range, all these transition threes that we're showing, and then have Shead come in and just be a completely different style of player, a guy who can facilitate, a guy who can seemingly just get into the paint whenever he wants and create for others, which is not necessarily IQ's strong suit. So just cool to have like a point guard duo that kind of complements each other like that. Absolutely, right? And then from here, you're going to see he runs a give and go with Scottie, just like a little 2-man game. And then while the defense is collapsing, he does a look off. So maybe they're talking about look offs, and he maybe learned it from Scottie. And then he's just gonna hit Gray Dick in the corner there, and he's gonna take a little pump fake into the nice little jumper. All right, let's analyze it. Was the no look needed? Did it do anything? I think it actually. I think this one might have actually, because it causes Santi to hesitate and have to guard 2. So I think that one did. Yeah. Got to teach Scottie. There you go. Yeah, for useful look offs. But yeah, so I mean that's our Jamal Shead highlights here, and I think with him, I don't know what his ceiling necessarily is, but when you're a team like Toronto, right, where they get a little bogged down sometimes with the starters, you really need guys like Sandro or Mamu. I keep calling him Sandro or Mamu.
Mamu to come in, or Jamal Shead to come in and just kind of give some life to the offense and get that momentum up. And I like what he's doing, right? Like I like that he's just using his first step. He's not necessarily trying to get to the rim himself. He's trying to kind of facilitate for others there. And he really is a focal point of the offense coming from the bench.
Yeah.
And I think he's a big part of why the assist to turnover ratio is so low, or so high, excuse me, and why they're assisting on so many shots.
Absolutely. And I feel like Shead was a guy, like he's the classic guy, played at Houston for a really good coach for what, all 4 years? Or was he 22 when he came in the league? It's like he's got a guy who's going to have really high IQ, going to be able to understand the game at a high level. And he's just doing exactly, the role that they need their backup point guard to be. So it's great. I do want to show, and I do want to say another crazy Mamu stat. So Mamu's offense has been awesome, but Mamu on the court makes their defense 15.9 points better per 100 possessions. I was blown away by that stat. I don't know if that's a negative Jakob stat or if it's a positive Mamu stat, maybe a little bit of both. I do have one just Mamu defensive possession because I wanted to shout him out because that's an incredible number. He's shadowing the drive by Dean Wade, forced the pickup, pressure him. Then both of these guys, Scottie and Mamu here, are going to work to not allow that entry into Mobley. And then again, it looks like Dean Wade has him here, but watch the recovery from Mamu. Get up, give me that. Mamu is just like such an impressive athlete, like a weirdly athletic dude for his size. So runs the floor really well. Like you said, knocks down threes. He's an unbelievable roll man, like I mentioned, both passing and putting the ball in the bucket. And he's also playing some really, really high-level defense. So
absolutely. Yeah. He's one of those guys, like he came in that Cleveland game and he just had like 11 points so quickly. Like he hit a couple of open threes. I think he like just drove to the rim in transition. And it was just like he scores at will. On the Pirtle thing, I know Pirtle has been hurt to start the season. They played Indiana last night, and I'll just be completely honest with you guys. I didn't watch a ton of that game because Indiana is. I feel bad for them, man. They're signing guys off the street, but it was a really good win for the Raptors in terms of Pirtle really kind of looked pretty solid in that game, and he got his momentum a little bit back. And I think that's a big part of it. Like he's coming through some injuries. I expect him to kind of get back into the swing of things here because he is a really solid center in the league. And I think, it's just taking some time to get him back to 100%. I think those defensive numbers will hopefully get better.
Yeah, for sure. So that is going to do it for the Raptors segment, but I do feel like Raptors fans might be mad we didn't do more CMB stuff. CMB has been really good. Just wasn't going to be the focus for today for us for whatever reason. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if he's the reason they're. Well, maybe he is. I don't know.
No, I'm just saying like he's an exciting young player that Raptors fans would want to hear about. And we didn't give him a ton of shine, but we are aware CMB's been great.
He's like he's a little Draymond D. I like him. Yeah. I like him a lot. He's got one of those. He's like that weird kind of body type where it's hard to figure out what position he really is. But he is like definitely a bright spot on this team for sure. And I think Brandon Ingram's been a really good kind of spotlight for the team here. I know he has been shooting the ball abysmally from three. I think he's shooting like 20-something% from three. But you've seen them kind of take on his identity where they don't shoot a lot of threes. Like they settle with mid-range or get into the rim. So
yeah, well, I think like we showed they want to run, right? They want to get out in transition. Yeah. They understand how athletic they are and all their guys can do a lot of damage in transition. But when the game slows down, we haven't seen the Raptors in the last few years have a guy who you can just go to for half-court offense, and BI has been that outlet that when the game does inevitably slow down, he can get to his spots. And I think it's been nice for Scottie Barnes, too, to not have to be the guy to be relied on in the half-court every play and trying to, be somebody he's not, like breaking down guys off the dribble, taking a bunch of fadeaways. Like, let's leave that to BI now. So just good stuff overall. Raptors fans should be happy.
Yeah, I think that they should be. I know it's been a rough few years, so shout out to them. I know you wanted to talk about the other team in red, the Houston Rockets.
Yes, I've been watching a lot of Rockets.
Me too.
I've been just really impressed with their offense, with their team overall. Reed Sheppard is doing some great things. Kevin Durant has seemingly figured it out there. So they are the number one offensive rating at 124.5. Second best is Denver, who is a full 2 points behind per 100 points per 100. Denver's at 122.4. Some Alpi stats for you. Looks like we're seeing that true like superstar leap. This guy looks like an all NBA player. 22.4 points a game, 7.4 assists, 10.2 rebounds is the slash line, and then 45.9% from 3 on 3.4 attempts. I am blown away by his shooting and shot making from distance. He's at 59.9% true shooting overall. Alpi's been an absolute dog. So, but what's really stuck out to me, I think, about Houston is all the options that they have on offense, right? Like, obviously, you're bringing KD. You can go to KD ISOs. You can go to KD post-ups. You can go to KD pick and rolls. Or we can go to Alpi post-ups. We can go to Alpi with inverted pick and rolls. Alpi is the screener. Or we can just clear the floor and spread it out all for a men. Or we can go with the 2 big lineup and just put a shot on the rim, and somebody's going to come down with it, and they're going to score. Speaking of that lineup, Amen, KD, Jabari, Şengün, Adams, that double big lineup has a 47.4 offensive rebound rate.
Jeez. Holy shit. Good luck.
They're grabbing half the misses.
Dude, have you noticed they sort of like, it's almost like they box out everyone else for Steven Adams. Like, or they just like.
It's the opposite. Steve draws like 3 people to himself.
Hold on. Back it up. Did you just call him Steve?
Yeah, Big Steve.
Steve Adams. I didn't know you were by Steve. Is he like your good friend? I didn't know.
Yeah, we're homies.
Yeah. All right, let's break it down.
All right, let's break it down. Like I said, the thing that stands out to me most about their offense is all the options. So big thing coming into the season, they don't have a point guard, right? Amen is going to be the ball handler a lot of the time. So Drew Holiday, the Blazers, we're the Blazers. We're the ball pressure team. Let's pressure the hell out of this team that doesn't have a point guard. Problem with that is if you give KD an easy catch like this, how the hell are you going to stay with this Amen back cut? Look at Drew, who's an elite defender, but I don't know anyone who's going to stay with this Amen back cut. Look at him burst down the floor, draw the defense, swing. Jabari's going to knock it down. Şengün as a spacer is going to be a talking point throughout, but Şengün on the wing here, he's a guy you can't just disrespect anymore. Drew closing out, and then my guy, Jabari Smith Jr. If you have followed me for a while and you follow my content, you know I feel just a certain type of way about Jabari. I think he's, if not the most underrated, he's one of the most underrated players in the league. This is a good contest. Like, shading gets there, and Jabari can just make these shots. It's a really valuable skill and maybe an undervalued or under talked about thing throughout the NBA. But some of the ways that they are going to incorporate KD into unlocking Amen Thompson. Watch this one. KD going to come up and go screen for him. You see Giannis is going to have to go with KD on the ghost. Rollins is kind of like, am I going with KD? Was that a screen? No, it's not. Amen's just going to get downhill, touch the paint. He's going to look it off to the corner, find Alpi under the hoop, and Alpi's going to convert these at a really, really high rate. And then, again, another KD ghost. Like, this is a really smart way to get Amen downhill, right? He's not a guy who's just going to shift guys out of their shoes. But if you give him just a fraction of a step, like, he's going to get downhill. So that's what these ghosts with KD can do, drag multiple defenders. You see AJ get caught up in that ghost just a little bit, and Amen's going to get downhill. He's actually going to miss this one because check out who's in. Steven Adams in that double big lineup. Steven Adams is a man. Portis comes over to help. Amen misses it, but yeah, easy one. Easy one for Adams. We've seen a lot of that, so let's talk about the double big lineup now. This time they're just going to go with KD, right? This other option that we talked about. When KD's in the game, we can do this. We can just go 1-4 flat, spread 4 guys out along the baseline, but check out the 2 bigs in the dunker spot. That means Amen is going to have to be on the wing and spacing. When Amen's the spacer, Rollins or whoever's guarding him is going to be able to dig down on the KD ISO, and teams are just going to live with Amen taking the shot. We want to see more development there, but for now, like, teams are just going to live with this. But Amen puts it up, and look at the double bigs. Steve has 2 guys on him. Alpi pushing Giannis in. Reed has a free crash. Amen's a great crasher and a great rebounder. He gets it. He's going to get swatted, but of course the Rockets end up with it again, and Alpi, they call the foul there. So even when it's not pretty for the Rockets, like, they just find a way with this double big lineup. And then check out the difference when the double bigs are out. Now you have Alpi on the wing as the spacer and Amen in the dunker. And you can go back to these KD ISOs. KD going to get downhill and just find Amen in the dunker for an easy one. So you can kind of see the difference of the spacing when the double bigs are not in the game. And then this one, so in this game, KD had been cooking Miles Turner on switches all game. Finally, the Bucks go away from switching, and they just put Miles up at the level here. But the problem with that is now as Kuz tries to recover, there's 2 on the ball. Alpe's going to be wide open on this roll. And again, like we've talked about the superstar leap. He's just going to find ways to make a good play. Alpe had a monster game. We saw obviously all those viral clips of him, the one against Giannis at the end, but just so many options for the Rockets to go to. And then again here, like Klingon is the big man guarding Alpe. It's going to be a tough cover. KD setting the screen, and Jeremy Grant doesn't want to leave KD's body. Klingon goes under. This is way too much room now for Alpe. Apparently, he's shooting 39% from 3 on 3.4 attempts. So yeah, just a ton of options for the Rockets. That is why, in my opinion, their offense has been so successful. Is they have so much to go to, and it's really hard for defenses, to stop all these different actions all at once.
Are you surprised by that, by the offense being that great? Like, we knew the defense and the rebounding was going to be incredible, but with Fred VanVleet going out, right, I think there were fears of what they could potentially do without having a true table-setting point guard. How do you feel about them now that you've seen them play a little bit?
Yeah, I think I'm definitely surprised by number 1 offensive rating. And I'm still like slightly skeptical in terms of when you think about them in the playoffs, because I still have, flashbacks of those first few games where Durant literally could not touch the ball because teams are just being physical and denying him and sending multiple bodies. And, it looks ugly in some of those games. But for the time being, like the regular season, I think this is sustainable. Is it number 1 the whole year? I don't know. But I think this is a top 5, top 7 offense because of all those things I showed. Like, Amen is a real weapon on offense. You can run real stuff to get him downhill, like we saw with the KD Ghost. They also, in one of their first games down the stretch, just go to Amen ISOs or Amen pick and rolls, and he's just blowing by guys and touching the paint. So you have this crazy athlete and real offensive weapon, and then Alpe's making this true superstar leap, and you have Durant, who's still giving you 25 a night on hyper efficiency. So and the double big lineup is an offense in itself. Like that, there's a lot there that they can match up with whatever teams have, whatever weakness the other team has. Like, they have an answer for it offensively. So what do you think? I think this is, like I said, I think it's a top 5 offense.
I totally agree. I mean, I'm surprised at how effective and efficient they are, but I definitely think it's a top 5 offense. I think the only thing that would really change would just be the Spurs getting a little bit more efficient, or the Nuggets. Like, if Cam Johnson just puts it together, that would be the thing where I would see them getting overtaken. But I don't necessarily think it's the Rockets doing anything to themselves that would make them regress in that way. I just think the other teams might catch up.
Yeah, I mean, there's some shot making luck involved. Like, Tari's shooting a ridiculous.
Yeah, Tari's shooting insane.
Does Alpe, is he really a 39% 3-point shooter now? Does that come back down to earth? Who else? Like, Okogie's playing out of his mind.
Insane.
So there's certainly some like individual guys that might not play this well the whole year, but again, I think that drop off goes from 1 to 4 or 5 rather than 1 to 13 or 14.
Yeah, I agree. One guy that has been playing out of his mind recently, and finally, and I think people have been selling their stake on Reed Sheppard Island, is Reed Sheppard. In the last 7 games, I believe it is, he's averaging 16.5 points per game, 3.5 assists per game, 2.8 steals per game, 1.5 rebounds per game. He's shooting 58.1% from the field, 53.3% from 3 on 7.5 attempts, and has a true shooting percentage of 76%. And ridiculous. In the last 5 games, he has 13 steals. He has been, I think the biggest issues with Reed was that Ime was not going to play him because of his defensive liabilities. And the fact of the matter is, he is limited in terms of his size. He's never going to be a high plus defender. And I don't think it's possible just because he's not physically long enough or tall enough to affect everyone's shot. What he can be is a neutral to plus defender. And if he's that, plus the shot making ability that he has proven to have no matter what, you got yourself a really, really good player. So with Reed, I think there is potential there defensively where he can be that plus to neutral defender. And I wanted to kind of break down some plays that I saw that were a little bit different than the plays that have probably been going around all the time, where it's a lot of him just splashing threes. If you watched him in college, you knew he could shoot like that. And we knew like that 3 was going to translate because he's such a dynamic shooter. With Reed, I think people forget that he had like a 40-something inch vertical, and he is extremely athletic. So he's going to be athletic enough to hold up defensively. It's more so just like he's not going to be able to block shots from guys like KD because he's shorter. But
small. He does, like, he has incredible hands. Legitimately,
Yes.
like 13 steals. That's like an outlier skill. Like,
yeah,
he is like top like 90 something percentile in best hands, whatever made up stat you want to say. He can get his hand on the ball in situations that you just don't see other guys do it.
Well, we got a bunch of videos of that. So first we're going to start a little bit with his motor here. Just I think the biggest thing with defense, right? If you're looking at the antithesis of Reed Sheppard, would probably be Cam Whitmore. Very low defensive motor. So we're going to start with this play here. He's going to go after Denny, right? Because he sees Denny has kind of a loose dribble. He's just going to go and attack the ball right as Denny brings it up past the half court line and just going to dive on the floor. And this is a great hustle play. This is what you love to see. Just a guy that is high defensive motor, taking advantage, right? Where Denny isn't, he's a good ball handler, but he had that loose dribble for a second. Reed was able to get in there with his hands and just, dive on the floor. This is in the fourth quarter as well. Just a really big play. And if you notice, like they're up by like 25 and he's still diving on the floor.
Yeah, and steals. I think we cut the clip, but like was this the moment where KD and Alp and all the guys like surround him and it's like
they're
really
screaming at him.
Yeah, it's awesome. Yeah, this was a great moment.
There's another moment that for some reason just doesn't exist anymore on clips. And the reason we can't like screencast live games, so we have to go on clips. And there's a moment where against the Wizards, he is guarding Keyshawn George, and he sticks to him through a screen and then just kind of like harasses him and pokes the ball free and dives on it and causes a jump ball again in the fourth quarter. If you were watching that Wizards game, you know what I'm talking about. That was a huge play and just an awesome play. That is another example of this. And then another one here, you're going to see he just dives on the floor and gets a steal against Cole Anthony. It's just hard work and taking advantage of, again, someone just being a little bit careless with their dribble. He's going to poke free with those awesome hands and then get an amazing pass to an outlet or to a cutter going down in transition. It's very impressive. We're going to see he's just going to get the ball, sit on his butt, and just hit from his butt, pass it up to Tari. And then here, okay, this is an example of having just incredible hands, okay? So you're going to see they're going to double Tari, and they're going to double Shea with Tari, and I don't even know how he grabs the ball from Shea, but he just comes up and like grabs it and just rips it out of his hands and just pulls it free and goes and passes it up to Tari. Sorry if that's unsatisfying for people because I did cut the finishes. But yeah, just again, ripping through here. He's going to double Shea, pull the ball. Just incredible hands from Reed. It's very impressive stuff there. And that was kind of the biggest thing like that I've been noticing watching him play defense. Again, he's going to poke it from Giannis here. Giannis has the ball driving down. Reed's just going to come in and just kind of like, he does it with his offhand that's not in the camera. He's going to do, Giannis does a crossover and Reed comes through and pokes it with his right hand. You kind of can't really see it, but yeah,
it's a bad angle.
Just incredible. Yeah, bad angle, incredible hands play there. And then this one, he's going to follow Cam Thomas through the screen set by Wilson and then just kind of keep following Cam. Cam's going to pass it up, and then he knows the ball's coming. Yeah. He's just going to rip it from Cam Thomas. He's going to intercept the ball and rip it out of Cam Thomas's hands and take it down. So
like
again, with Reed, yeah, exactly. So again, with Reed, like he is uber athletic, and the hands, I think those are for real. I don't know what you think though.
Oh, the hands for sure. Uber athletic might be a little bit too much for
my he had a 40-something inch vertical.
I don't know if I know, but it doesn't pass the eye test, like the lateral movement and just sticking to guys defensively. The hands, I'm totally with you on.
Okay, well, the vertical movement passes the eye test because if we're gonna look here, one thing that I'm loving about him is he's developing this midi game. And if you look at here, so he's gonna get the shot off where he just is gonna weave around Sengun. He's gonna get the switch to on Turner, and just gonna get to a spot. Look at how high he jumps on that. That's that vertical. Yeah, that's 40, dude. Come on. Incredible shot there.
He's got bounce for sure.
Yeah. So I'm loving that play there. And then for this one, so for him, like the midi game is really important because if he's a really, really good 3-point shooter and guys are going to close on him and they're going to close hard, if he can develop this midi game off of, hard, like guys over closing on him, that just unlocks another facet of scoring from him. Whether he gets to the midi or he gets to the rim, either way, just attacking those closeouts is something that I want to see him do a lot of. And that's something that we're starting to see him do more. So again, he's going to get the pass to the top of the key. It's a hard closeout on him from Giannis, and he's just going to attack it and just get to a spot, pull up just a nice clean midi. Reminds you of anyone, Jordy?
Who are you saying?
I don't know. I like saying that just to see if I can get someone saying something crazy.
You're
But yeah,
probably
just
a young JD, you could say.
young.
Sure.
Okay, sure. I'll give you that. And then again here, so he's gonna use the Adams screen on Tumani, and again just gets through, and then Denny's gonna come in and sort of help, like kind of just sort of tag. He's gonna off balance there, and then look at this floater that he gets off over Klingon, or not a floater, the midi, but it's just like that is.
I just love the confidence now. Like,
Yeah.
He missed so many shots last year that I didn't know if he was ever going to like snap out of it. But he's certainly snapped out of it now, and he looks like the Kentucky Reed Sheppard.
Absolutely. So love that shot there. And then this one, he's gonna take Ben Surroff off the dribble here, and then he's gonna just rip through, take him off the dribble, you get him on his hip, get to a spot, and then he's gonna do a little pivot, little Alex Sarr pivot, turn around, fade away right there. So he's just adding stuff to his offensive scoring bag, which I'm really excited about, because I want Reed to be more than just a 3-point shooter, because he is that, and he has the capability to do that. So to see him, prioritizing taking some mid-range jumpers, attacking closeouts, doing things like that, I think this is something that's going to be really helpful, because with him on the floor, he provides, obviously elite spacing for this Rockets team. And I'm excited because we have questions about, the efficiency of scoring at times. I know they're the number one offense in the NBA right now, but there are questions about like longevity, right, and the efficiency of scoring. And if you have a guy like Reed Sheppard that can do a little bit of everything, those questions are going to be answered.
Yeah. Do you think he watched our Alex Sarr tape video? Because we got.
I think he might have. Yeah.
We got the stop and the mini pivot. That's the Sarr pivot right there.
It's the Sarr pivot.
It's the Sarr.
Then what you would have to do is a Sarr pivot into a rip through into a fadeaway.
Yeah,
that's a Sarr shot right there.
Over Evan Mobley. That would be
over. Yeah, that would be really something.
The true
but okay, yes. Did you have any other stuff on the Rockets?
Let's see. Did we forget to mention anybody like we did with the Raptors guys? We got Tari. We got Big Steve. I mean, Steven Adams should be in Nerd Highlights every week with the rebound and gravity. Yeah. That might be a staple. I think I'm good. Did we miss anybody? Anything?
I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. Now is the time where we usually ask for any questions or anything that people may have, if they want to have any hot takes that they want to debate us on. If you want to ask Jordan any questions about Nerd Highlights, now would be the time. But I don't think we have a ton of people in the stream anymore, so
honestly, let's end this one and let's hop right into a watch along.
Yeah, real quick for anyone that's watching, we are going to do a watch along with one of the games here. I don't know what time it is off the top, but there should be an 8 p.m. game starting, so we might do that, or we might do one of the games that's already playing right now. So stay tuned on the YouTube live. It's coming on in about 2 seconds. We're going to end this live.
But start another one. If you want to watch the game, though, you do have to get playback. So all you have to do is get playback and link your League Pass or Prime or whatever the game is on. Link your account, and then you'll be able to actually see the live game footage with us as we watch it. If you are on YouTube, you can still see us and you'll hear us, but you won't be able to see the game. I think you'll just be able to see the scoreboard and potentially the box score.
Yes, and playback is free. And if you go on playback.tv /JD's room, that'll get you to our room. So give us like 1 minute and